So in 1996, I believe it is, a series of comics was published,
Yeah.
known as Amalgam. And it was a sort of a crossover event between DC and Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
Now, until they sort out the
Legal rights.
the perpetuities, the everything that goes into it, we kind of stuck in this circle of debate that is Marvel versus DC, which one's better as far as not just the comic books, because we all know DC is better, but
that's debatable. Hence this video.
Also as far as the movies go.
Yeah,
or as
especially the movies.
Referred to as the cinematic universes. So
not necessarily.
Well, at least in the Marvel's case.
At least, yeah. So basically, it is Christmas was yesterday. It is a cheerful season of giving and brotherhood,
jolly and stuff.
Yeah, people of goodwill towards men, and we decided to argue.
And judging by the Santa Claus that fell off our roof, if you put his suit on, you do not become Santa Claus.
Unfortunately, man, that's still one of my favorite Santa movies, man. But listen, I decided, it was like, we've been talking about this topic for years. I thought it was about time we do a video too.
I always thought we did the video.
Listen, I mean, we talked about it in a few videos that we did when we discussed top 10 comic book movies, when we discussed, I don't know, certain and like Marvel movies, certain DC movies. We always compare them in some way or another with each other. So because people online, especially because of the latest campaign to download Star Wars and Rotten Tomatoes, which I never really liked Rotten Tomatoes to begin with. I'm more of an IMDb guy, but I still
I don't care either way kind of guy.
I know, man, but still, you know, it's like people will do anything just to force other people to see things their way, and unfortunately you can always force people to see your way, because if we did, we'd all turn into Nazis or something. So if you prefer DC movies like this guy does, or DC comics like this guy does, or if you prefer Marvel movies and Marvel comics like I do, I mean, I think we can all agree, like, listen, you may believe your stuff is better, I may believe my stuff is better,
but it still means I'm gonna enjoy the Marvel movie when I go out and see it.
Exactly. I mean, still, we can argue which ones are better, like, over and over again. But the thing is, just like the movies, it all comes down to
preferences, personal preferences.
Yeah,
I prefer DC, hence I love DC better. Hence, whatever DC does, I'm gonna love it. Be it Suicide Squad, be it BVS, be it Green Lantern. I love Green Lantern. It was not a good movie, but I still liked it.
Some people would say it was a shitty movie with a shitty villain, because
I'd probably agree.
Because it was big, the villain was a big poopy cloud, so it's like, you know.
There's so many things wrong with that movie, but if you tell me let's go watch that movie, I'm gonna go watch that movie. But here's the thing, and this is where it's not just about personal preferences, but when you look at it, everything that came out of DC after Nolan's Batman trilogy,
yeah,
the overall reaction before people started seeing the movie, everybody loved the idea. They saw the trailers were great. Man of Steel, Suicide Squad was supposed to be the best DC movie that came out
in years, yeah.
In years, ever since Nolan's Batman, in fact.
Yeah.
And then what happened? A couple of critics went to see the movie, and next thing you know, Rotten Tomatoes rated it as like 28. And next thing you know, everybody thought it was a shitty movie. It doesn't really matter how much they liked it when they went there. It's just all of a sudden everybody's opinion. That's the whole monkey see, monkey do mentality that we live in today. Is if enough people don't like something, I'm not gonna like it by default because everybody else doesn't like it. It doesn't really matter. That's why Marvel can't do anything wrong. And that's why, if, for example, if DC announced that they bring in the Christian Bale as Batman back, and they had him sit in a chair, reading a newspaper, for 1.5 hours, people are gonna say that's the best thing DC did since Nolan's Batman.
Yeah, agree.
No matter how much that sentence doesn't make any sense to regular moviegoer, because it doesn't, because I wouldn't even go and watch that. But generally, people will like it because Christian Bale came back as Batman.
Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, it's like the issue goes much further and deeper than we're probably gonna discuss it. And I mean, even if you watch our top 10 comic book movies video, which is, I think, has a pretty cool list of both DC and
Oh
Marvel
yeah.
movies, and maybe even some of the others. I'm not sure if
And you can point out that actually Marvel did a couple of movies
better than.
better, and they did more movies than DC did. DC was still
Well, I
finding
mean,
its
if we're
footing.
looking like total, I don't know which
Well, yeah, but you're
studio did
looking
more
at-
movies, but
I think it's Marvel, but if you look at it like 2008 onward, or if you're looking in DC's case, if you're looking from Batman's in 2005, the first Nolan Batman onwards, Marvel has a better slate, bigger slate,
yeah, definitely.
and they probably figure out what they're doing with their movieverse a lot sooner than DC did. This is, I think, only starting, not just starting from Man of Steel, but actually I think Man of Steel and I think BVS and Suicide Squad were kind of their stepping stone, their learning curves.
Possibly.
They kind of got it together, the first movie that...
I mean, those movies
that
had
was-
issues that,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Definitely. And I mean, the first movie that was generally well received was Wonder Woman.
yeah,
But I think even that didn't have anything to do with Wonder Woman or with DC, but just generally the public sort of jumped to it. Again, just because somebody doesn't like movie or likes a movie doesn't mean the movie's good or bad. It's weird
listen,
seeing how
was
people
like,
look at stuff.
I mean, people who watch our videos and when we talk is like, listen, even if I didn't necessarily like the movie, like let's say Ghost in the Shell, the live action remake, or even the anime, let's go with the anime simply because more people like it better. But to me, they're pretty much both the same. You know, I didn't necessarily enjoy it. But that doesn't mean I didn't appreciate the artistical and psychological and philosophical themes that that movie had. You know, it's like it just the way they were portrayed, they didn't necessarily appeal to me. But that doesn't mean it was a bad movie, or
Oh, no.
you know that I'm
Far
gonna go out and just start random campaigns on the internet to start downloading this movie so nobody else sees it. Like, it makes no sense. Just like with Star Wars, people who watched our review, no, we genuinely, like, we loved the new Star Wars movie. Probably more than most people did, even though the movie is dividing audiences all over the world. And so, when it comes down to, like, which studio has better stuff and which studio does better movies or like does movies better even if most people don't like them, I think the debate will always come down to the like to that individual person who's actually watching the movie. So it's like,
Oh yeah, it's always gonna be a
it's always
personal
like
preference.
if you like the movie, you like the movie. If you don't like the movie, you don't like the movie. Just don't be a like. There's people who genuinely hate simply out of principle. They will hate everything that DC does, and there's people who will generally just on the principle alone hate everything that Marvel does. To me, that makes no sense because they're all like both studios are in the business of making comic books, making movies. They all want to tell a good story,
making
show
money.
a good story, and make money. Of course, yeah. I mean, seriously, you're giving these people money, so it's like depending on how much money you give them, everybody gives them. That's how much more discounting you'll see. So basically, they're both studios are actually in the business of making comic book movies that will appeal to a wider audiences than just comic book fans who actually grew up or read comics. And so,
And that's why your movie based on a comic book and your actually comic book sometimes have nothing in
not
common.
sometimes, just often, and that's okay. Listen, there's stuff that I grew up on. When I see it in live action, I think to myself, why did this have to happen this way? And I was like, case in point, Dragon Ball Evolution, for example, or
Let's not
or even the Jack Reacher series. You know, it's like when I know people who have a problem with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine simply because he's way too tall for the character, and I'm thinking like, listen, Jack Reacher is 2 meters tall, and they got Tom Cruise who's like 1.5 meters tall, so it's like, you know, it's like, are we looking for a way to tell a story
You have to look at it
the right
as a
way?
new venue. Basically, movies, even when they're based on books and comic books, they're gonna deviate a lot from the original
Yeah.
content, but that's why. It's because they're making the movie for a wider audience. They're making the movie not just for those who read the books / comic books, but for those people who didn't,
who are actually going to pay the movie, because
who are maybe never going to read the comic book, but they're going to go see the movie.
Oh, definitely. Because comic book fans cannot and will not pay back studios the money that they put into making the movie. Like Deadpool may have gotten away with it. Like if all the Deadpool fans, people who grew up on Deadpool, went to see Deadpool movie, that movie might have made its money back. But the movies like Avengers or Man of Steel or even Justice League, there's no way that people who
if you market it only for those
who
read the comics are good, because they're not going to make any money.
Yeah, case in point, Warcraft, for example, that movie could have been made for the video game fans alone. But inevitably, you know, video game fans probably wouldn't make that money back to the studio anyway. I mean,
when you're making a movie, you're always marketing it for the wider audience. You want everybody, not just for those who grew up with the original content, but you're also making it for those who haven't, who are never going to do it, but they're going to go see a movie. Yeah,
and case in point, when you talk about comics, like stuff like Days of Future Past, for example, is a completely different story in the comics than it is in the animated series or in the movie.
And yet
people who watch the animated series,
one of my most favorite movies, comic book movies out there.
Yeah, I know. And the animated series from 90s is like had a pretty good telling of that story too, and comic book fans still loved it. So it's like it's not really that the story changed, it's just how it got changed didn't necessarily appeal to you, and that's okay. But you don't have to go as like, you know,
you don't have to be a troll about it. Like,
yeah, it's like it's they ruined my childhood and stuff like that, you know. So it's like,
again, like if you don't want to see it, don't go see it. You know, just don't ruin the experience for those who are going to go see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I know people who, I mean, because going to cinema is expensive these days. I mean, literally, like you have to.
Oh yeah, it is. It's
especially if you want popcorn on the side and whatever snacks, whatever you take, nachos. I don't care, but it's like going to cinema. So it's like some people, like they decide, like I'm gonna go see this movie based on what this person thinks. So I generally agree on their taste in movies because we have similar taste in, or the same taste in movies, and that's fine to one degree. But then again, you can't come and tell me, listen, I don't watch these movies, so I'm gonna talk shit about them. So you can't really do that.
You have a brain.
And
it's actually fun to use it from time to time.
Yeah.
It's okay. Nobody's gonna go. I mean, okay, people are gonna freak out when you start using your brain, but you have it for a reason.
Yeah, and listen, generally, like me, you and me, when we go see a movie, we know which movies we want to see, and like even when we hear people complaining about certain stuff in some movies, we'll go and see it anyway because we want to see that movie. So like it's our money anyway, so we're going to spend it the way we want to.
I mean, if you really want to enhance your movie-going experience, just quit on the critics. Quit on the movie reviews, quit on the trailers, just don't watch anything. And then go
Before you see the movie.
Before you see the movie,
that you actually want to see.
Then go see the movie knowing nothing about what other people think about it, knowing nothing about what's actually happening in the movie, and then try to enjoy it. Because all of a sudden you have a different perspective.
Yeah.
Because everything that you see, every review of the movie that you see, you're getting somebody else's opinion. And then if you look at that and they're like, okay, you already formed your own opinion based on that before you even stepped into the movie theater. So if you heard 10 people talking bad stuff about the movie, generally you're on the backside of your brain, you're like, man, this movie's going to be bad. So when you see it, first thing that you don't like, you're like, knew it. Those 10 people said the movie's going to be bad, and here it is, 5 minutes in, it's bad.
Yeah, it's awful.
And it doesn't really matter what happened the other, hour and 45 minutes. The first 5 minutes, your decision was made. This is a bad movie. And at that point, nothing. At that point, just leave the theater, man.
Yeah.
You already checked out. Why watch the movie anyway? It's gonna be bad for you. Just wait till it comes out on Blu-ray or DVD and just watch it at home.
Yeah, or on Netflix. And listen, it also goes back to the movie expectations. It's like you set certain expectations of what certain movies should be like, and you play those expectations in your head over and over again for months, weeks, until the movie shows up. And then when the movie shows up, you're disappointed in the movie because it didn't live up to the expectations and the plot points that you actually wanted to see in the movie.
And the thing is, sometimes you don't even give it the whole movie. Your opinion is made not just before you actually entered, but those 10-15 minutes, they're going to make or break a movie for you just based on what you know about the movie, what other people told you about the movie.
Yeah, and Suicide Squad may not have been the best movie, may not even have the best villain, and her throwing around hands like this as some kind of sinister, plot line. Maybe it wasn't the best idea for a movie, but you can come and tell me that I don't know, gathering up the Suicide Squad before the parts with the Joker and just heading out on a mission and all those guys trying to get along or not wasn't as fun as hell, man. I mean, seriously.
It was fun.
It was
and
a fun
we're gonna
movie.
get a second one. There's gonna be an animated one or two.
Well, we already have an animated Suicide Squad movie, so from a few...
Yeah, but we get another one that's coming.
I know.
We get another one that's coming that's based on the cinematic universe. The cinematic one is getting the sequel. So DC is obviously invested in this property, because Suicide Squad for them, as comic books will go, it's sold. It's a good storyline. They have good plots in there, and they want to see them come.
And we want to see them on the big screen too.
Oh yeah.
So, listen, whether...
So here's the thing, whether you like it or not just Marvel, not just DC.
Not just Lucasfilms and
Yeah,
Star Wars,
but
or anything else.
Here's the thing. Because the movie industry is basically money-making industry, you can hate the movie, but as long as you go and see it, they're gonna make another one. Because when they look at their box office totals, and when they see the movie played, I don't know, a month, it made over $700 million, every one of those people who went and saw that movie can hate the movie. But for them, that movie made $700 million. They're making another one.
Yeah, I wish that was the case with Warcraft, man. I mean, it just is. Or Tron 3, man. Oh, man.
So the thing is, if you know, certain properties, even if you don't like them, listen. And the thing is, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Even negative publicity is publicity.
That's a debatable point. I mean, one could. I was like, I haven't looked at the box office results for this. Is it the second weekend for Star Wars?
I didn't even check out the first one.
So it's like, I'm not sure how much that's influencing the movie, but it's like, it definitely had an influence on Justice League. And
I don't know how they did the box office. I don't know.
But
I also know Disney's still making the episode 9. They're still gonna make it. They don't, you know, because the next one, maybe people didn't like this one, but you know, Blink and next year is another one.
Listen, people didn't like Empire Strikes Back, and still it's considered the greatest Star Wars movie. It's not, but it is considered. You know, so anything could happen. To me, The Last Jedi was. So our review is up. It has some spoilers, but not in the beginning. Just go and watch that. We're not gonna talk about Star Wars like in detail, but listen, we love that movie. It was a fun movie. Turned the tables on a lot of people and a lot of opinions, and
which is good. You got people thinking, got people talking, which is what you want. You know.
Yeah, and
get the conversation going.
Yeah,
that's good.
And listen, at the end of the day, whether you like DC or Marvel or Star Wars or Police Academy or Karate Kid or whatever.
And let's face it, everybody should love Police Academy, all 13 of them, 11 or how many came out. They probably suck after the third one, but you know, by the time 6, 7 come around, you're so
numb to it.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. But listen, it all comes down to the personal preferences and opinions. And so even when majority doesn't agree with your opinion, that's cool. That's why we're here.
Listen, keep your opinion. Especially if the majority doesn't agree, because that means you're one of the rare ones. So, you know.
Yeah, we're not saying keep it to yourself. We're just saying, like, stay true to your opinions. Like, don't
be a monkey.
Yeah, don't...
Don't be a monkey. It's alright to go against the flow from time to time.
Yeah. Or always.
Yeah, or always. You know, or do it like this guy. Just do it for the sake of going against everybody.
Exactly, man.
His opinion is always against everybody else, just, you know, for no other reason, just for the sake of somebody being against the general opinion.
Somebody has to do their job, and it's not an easy job to do. And I take that responsibility with pride and enjoy it all the way through, man.
And cookies. He takes it with cookies too.
Of course, man. Cookies are the best. So we hope you had the...
This was, I don't even know what this was supposed to be. This was supposed to be kind of DC against DC Marvel thing, but here's the thing.
It was supposed to be a Christmas video, okay? It was supposed to be a Christmas video about DC versus Marvel, because it's all about good people with goodwill towards men. And simply because people like to hit each other online, I thought we would do something for the occasion that fits our theme with movies and the holidays.
So here you go. You had our Christmas video here.
Yeah. We only mentioned one Christmas movie, but I think that's okay because Santa Claus...
We mentioned the right Christmas movie, let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And so, with that in mind...
Listen, with else with an attitude, you never know.
Let's just say I don't wanna get on the wrong side of those guys. I don't wanna. I wanna do. Those guys are like, you don't wanna mess with those guys, okay?
Well, I wouldn't mind eating a donut right by now, but so that's it from us. So this is a post-Christmas video, I guess. Might be our last one of the year.
Who knows?
We never know.
Who can tell? We don't know.
We might catch a few movies before the year is through.
Oh, we're definitely catching a few movies.
We're not sure whether we're gonna be able to record any of those reviews before the year is done. We're also gonna forego our top 10 movies of the year because while we had some pretty good blockbusters, we had some pretty good non-blockbusters, we figured out we couldn't make a compelling list that will live up to our expectations.
Yeah.
We can name 10 movies, no problem. Probably sit it down, write it down, but in our own eyes, we sat down, we talked it over, and it doesn't cut it from us. Just the general, I don't know, general quality of the movies this year was a little bit.
And let's face
shady.
it, I mean, we do live in Croatia, so we didn't get to see as many people
as many
movies as people in the States can see, or people who live in LA or New York.
Yeah,
like, if I could live in New York and LA just to watch all the movies that come out
we have a limited access to the movies as far as those that come out in
and let's
movie
face
theater
it, like
goes.
we just got Netflix.
You just got Netflix. I had it for a while.
Well, I've been using yours, so whatever, man. But listen, I mean, generally speaking, they don't come to Netflix as fast as they can for various reasons. You have to go out of your way, get a Blu-ray or DVD or whatever, you know, and listen. There wasn't just that many movies. Like we looked at the list of our movies, and it turned out it would just be 10 blockbusters. Okay.
Quality-wise, we didn't like where it was going, so we're not gonna do it this year. We're gonna be back sometimes over the next 2 weeks.
If not next week, I still have one video that I've been saying for an occasion. I might publish that. It's pre-recorded from this summer.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Listen, I may publish that, but if not, we'll be back first week of the new year, possibly.
Yeah, with a review or two. Greatest Showman on Earth and Jumanji are coming out, so we're eager to check those out.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably gonna review them at some point after.
And we have other reviews and videos in mind too, so stay tuned. Subscribe, share, join us on social media, and
or don't, you know.
It's up to you.
Whatever.
Just like your movie opinions and Marvel versus DC. Listen,
they're like asses. Everybody has one.
I think it's farts, but whatever.
That's it from us. Enjoy your new year.
Yeah, be safe.
Don't make any list you can't keep.
Or promises you can't keep. That's why I don't make any promises to anyone, man.
That's why I don't make my the New Year, New Me thing.
That's still a thing?
That's still a thing, man.
Okay, well...
And don't go to the gym in January just to leave it in January, because there's people who actually go to the gym who don't like the crowded areas. We like
Did that already start happening?
No, but I already dread January 1st, man. The first Tuesday... Not looking forward to that, man. Not looking forward.
Oh, man. Well...
That's it from us.
For 2017, we'll catch you in 2018, if not sooner. Until next time.
Beijo,